is your main event, Mark's Podcast, brought to you by Belly Up Unhinged Radio Network Sports. I am your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, and cat dad. I am Troy. And as always, joining me today is the main event collector and figure hunting warrior. He is a WWE walking wrestling encyclopedia. He's the Billy Gunn to my road dog, Jesse James. Oh, you didn't know? It's badass. Greg. What's up, Greg?
I believe it's Ass Boy now.
That's his son's. The Ass Boys.
I just want to say that.
Hey, greatest name in wrestling, man.
Didn't that little idiot come up with that? Danhausen?
I don't.
I think he did.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. But today, ladies and gents, we are going down to the place where Greg is actually going to be for WrestleMania.
The place where I belong. It's a Daughtry song, sorry.
Yeah. We are going down to Texas for WWF No Way Out of Texas, 1998. And
this is the very last event where Austin's not quite iconic yet. Iconic.
Yeah, right. But he does
learn about
pop
the
of the night.
Switch on that in like a second.
Oh yeah, well, and he's extra over here in Texas, and
a little
he
bit.
gets the pop of the night and all that. Shawn Michaels was supposed to be here, but after injuring himself at the Royal Rumble, they needed to save him to make sure he could make that main event at WrestleMania 14. So he's not here for this event. This was actually, I know, this was actually the 20th In Your House event.
I did.
They tagged this as in Your House.
I believe. So. Don't hold me to this. Rock Bottom's the last one later this year. Maybe?
Backlash is actually the very last
99.
one ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's and this was at the time. I can't remember. Again, I don't know the timeline of this, but at one point it used
Never
to
got
be
those timelines.
Wow. It used to be WWF In Your House, then the tagline, like In Your House, Final Four. This one, at some point they switched it around, so where the tagline came first. So now this is WWF No Way Out of Texas, In Your House. So I don't know.
Why would you call it No Way Out and you're stuck in your house?
Yeah, right. No Way Out of Texas, In Your House. Like, okay, like that's a mouthful. But this was a follow up to the event that Greg was actually at, the 1998 Royal Rumble. Was that
first that injury happened?
Yeah, right. Was that at the Shark Tank?
It was at the time the brand new Shark Tank. Sounds weird saying that, but yes.
Yeah, right.
I think they opened in 1997.
So this one was sandwiched between two really good events. I thought the Rumble in '98 was really good. That was the first pay-per-view that really sticks out in my mind as a wrestling fan. And then obviously WrestleMania 14, big, gigantic, historic event. So
a little bit.
This one was just kind of, it was clearly filler, but some things got done on the show that we'll talk about. And it was a very big last-minute switch they had to do with Michaels because he was supposed to be in the main event of the show, but we'll get into that.
And when you say last minute, you're saying a mouthful because it was like last minute.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think he was advertised for this show right up until like the week of or some crap. It just couldn't happen. But we'll cover all that and everything more when we get into the show itself. We're going to pause real quick to let you know that the Main Event Marks is sponsored by Fanatics. Get all your officially licensed sports gear with Fanatics at fanatics.com. The link is down in the podcast description to click on. And when you go to check out, just let them know that the Main Event Marks and Burns sent you. Also, we're sponsored by Swift Lifestyles. They are clean energy drinks and focus enhancers, great tasting vitamins, and big brain nootropics that are made and shipped from the USA. Go to swiftlifestyles.com and use our special promo code MAINEVENTMARKS. It is all one word for 15% off your order. Make sure to follow us on YouTube now. You can get the link at linktr.ee/MainEventMarks. And if you follow our YouTube, we are expanding our content. Not only do we have the Main Event Marks podcast where we cover wrestling, but now we are expanding to other sorts of media. We have Marks on Games where we talk about games past, present, and future. Video games from all systems, be it Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Some computer games as well. We got Marks on Movies where we're going to cover past, present, and future films, and Marks on Television, where we do the same with TV shows, streaming shows, and whatnot. We talk about past, present, and future there as well with TV. like I said, follow us on YouTube. You click that subscribe button. That would greatly help us out. We're posting new content almost daily, and you can also keep up with our wrestling figure hunts that we do at least once a week, sometimes more. Check us out on youtube.com/C/Main Event Marks podcast. And you can listen on Burns every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And we are played live there on tikilive.com/channel/Burns. Burns is a brand new unhinged sports radio network, and it stands for Belly Up Unhinged Radio Network Sports. We go live every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific on tikilive.com/channel/Burns. That is Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on tikilive.com/channel/BURNS. But now we're going to take our first break of the podcast. On the other end of this, we're going to get into the news and notes from February of 1998. We've covered February of 96, 97, and now 98 right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Get ready to rumble in your new Main Event Marks merchandise. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, masks, hats, stickers, pins, and much more on our Redbubble store. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com. You can also pick up some awesome clothing items with the latest updated show graphics on our Bonfire store. That's bonfire.com/store/main event marks. Support your favorite retro wrestling podcast and pick up some cool swag on our Bonfire and Redbubble stores. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com and bonfire.com/store/main event marks.
Hey gang, it's Commissioner Cooper of TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. Expert fantasy advice, free contests, leading expert medical and legal analysis, and most importantly, you. Interact with us on all social media platforms or check us out at tssfantasy.com. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Check out the fun today and be a part of the most interactive fantasy show around. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we are back.
And we're back.
Time to get into the news and notes, y'all, from February of 1998. Big stuff happening here. The question of Mike Tyson's role at WrestleMania 14 has been answered. At the WrestleMania press conference, Vince McMahon stated that Tyson will be the outside of the ring enforcer for Shawn Michaels versus Steve Austin. They don't want to use him as a referee due to his inexperience and concern that he might get in the way of spots. The conference got massive mainstream media coverage. This was helped by the timing of Tyson splitting from his longtime manager Don King over money. None of the press was positive, however. Most of the press was along the lines of, look how far Tyson has fallen to degrade himself by doing pro wrestling.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about it. It makes no sense. You see how big this event was? Many people have credited him with it being this big. But, hey, write your own narrative.
It's the elites, man. It's always, the press is always acting. The press always acts like they're above everything. Especially I found that out with sports media. They're very elitist. It's like, wait, what are you doing? Associating with those people? Like, get over yourself, man.
I just love how they say that. He degraded himself, and Eric Bischoff himself just said, "Wow, when they got him, that was the beginning of the end." This is a guy who was trying to beat them, by the way.
Well, and my thing with this is, how is he's going to degrade himself by going to, do an appearance for this company that gets, on average, millions of viewers a week. That's
probably more than order his boxing pay-per-views, but only because it's on TV, so you got to factor that in. But still, more people will see him doing this than they will see him in a boxing match.
Plus the fact that the last time we saw him on boxing in a boxing match, he bit a man's ear off. Like, come on.
Yep.
Like, chill the F out, guys. Whatever. But as for what Tyson is making, word is that it's something in the $3.5 to $4 million range. Word is that
via his Hall of Fame induction, he flat out said this saved his house. So it was enough for that. You can imagine what kind of house that man had.
Right. Well, and the word is that Don King got $300,000 of the money. That was said to be the catalyst for their split. Tyson claims that Don King has left him practically bankrupt. Apparently, WCW had tried
Only in
to get
America.
Say what?
Only in America.
Yeah, right. You can get robbed by your manager. Good Lord. He probably never got any of that money back.
Hell no. That's why he became a vegan, not because, about the animals, because he couldn't afford to eat meat.
Good grief. I thought it was just because he's like, man, after I ate that ear, it's just like nothing tastes the same, baby. I don't know why I threw in the Dusty Rhodes.
Holy crap. You said that. Wow. I don't know what to do with that.
Right.
Let's move on.
But apparently WCW had tried to get Evander Holyfield to referee the Hogan Sting match at Starrcade 97, but negotiations went nowhere. Did you hear
that was doomed to fail anyways. I've never heard that in my life, but that pay-per-view, that match ending was doomed to fail anyway, so what difference does it make?
This isn't so much of a story, but I just wanted to cover it because they talked about it on Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, and I forgot that this was the time frame this happened in. I was just like, wow. I just kind of want to talk about it. So Uncle Dave Meltzer talks about Sable's breast implant surgeries. He mentions that on a recent CBS show segment, they apparently called her, quote, the world's most dangerous boob job.
Well, I just find it funny he goes right to this.
Yeah, well, it
there are millions of women in the world with this, and you just go with her because you fancy yourself a wrestling guy.
He attacked the crap out of her on a consistent basis, man.
Yeah, I know. I remember talking about this. I'm still thinking she turned her down at some point.
Yeah, I had to have. Like, listen to this. He recaps the angle on Raw where Sable slapped Luna and then stormed off. He said, quote, probably to get another breast enlargement. I think it's something like the old nuclear arms race where we all have enough bombs to blow up the world 15 times, but we still keep building more bombs, end quote. Oh, my God. Why does he care so much?
Like, I'm sticking by my theory. Like in school, the girl you like, you pulled her hair and chased her around and called her names and stuff. Yeah. There you go.
My thing is, because I would really like to know. Now, I don't read the Observer, like in full, so I don't know any of this crap. But I'd really like to know: did he give Missy Hyatt this much crap?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, because you want to talk about changing your appearance.
I don't know. Allegedly, I'm not gonna touch that, but
wow.
Allegedly, she was very friendly. We'll say that.
Oh yeah. She had a lot of friends backstage. Most of them
allegedly. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not commenting on that. I don't know.
According to Eric Bischoff, that is, and a lot of other wrestlers, that is very true. But he also said at the end of the Raw recap, he calls it a flat show. He then says, quote, maybe this isn't the right word to use with implantomania running wild.
Wow. So he mentioned it twice in one article? And they use that term loosely?
Yeah, he probably mentioned it more times than that, but those are the two times that stick out the most. Probably a bad choice of words, but you know what I mean.
I was going to make an innuendo there, but okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, he's really, infatuated with women's looks, and not like the heterosexual male kind of way. Just he's so infatuated with it, like he's got to comment on it. Didn't he do this in the Iconics, too?
Hey, so it's always an insulting way. Oh, they put on weight since they got out of NXT, and talking about
they don't want to look like sticks. I'm sorry, it's bad.
Yeah, it's like
even though I didn't see that, but
I don't see. It's like, do they even have 1% body fat? This one kind of sucker punched me because I was like, what? Didn't see that.
Oh man,
but
I like these.
Bobby Duncombe Jr., Johnny Ace, and One Man Gang all had tryouts at a recent Raw taping. Apparently, none of them looked great. You don't say.
That's a hell of a trio, dude.
Bobby Duncombe Jr. had a tryout with the WWF, and they said, nah, we'll pass.
Well, the West Texas Rednecks are coming, so he'll get something. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. Then it's a matter of, it's like, look, we already got one big-ass Texan on the roster. All right, we don't need two.
A couple, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say they still have Barry Windham. So it's like,
JBL, him, Austin. There's a couple of big testings there.
Well, they got two guys doing well, I guess Barry Windham's not technically doing the cowboy gimmick anymore. It's just down to Bradshaw, but still.
Right here, he is still.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania as the Blackjack, so.
It was, what was that, Raw we reviewed last Friday for the bonus show in 1997.
Freaking bonus.
They had a vignette for the new Blackjacks coming, which were Barry Windham and Bradshaw.
They would literally last a year.
Yeah, less than, because they're broken up here, and they were doing vignettes a year before this. That's sad, dude. Like, they didn't even last a year. They're just like, nah, they suck, break them up. But speaking
Barry
of which,
Windham, man, is amazing. So it's like, what the hell?
I know. Bradshaw's not bad either.
WWE champion right there, dude. You can laugh, but they had faith in the guy, so there you go.
Yeah, well, he hung in there. But speaking
only
of
because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays, but he did.
But All Japan Pro Wrestling's Johnny Ace worked the dark match, as mentioned, at a recent New Japan or WWF taping.
I often forget he was a wrestler before. The dynamic dudes, well, because I only know his what's his title again? Vice President of Vice President of Talent Relations.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all I know, man. Is I always forget he was a dynamic dude, even though in the archives I think we reviewed a couple of his matches.
I was over in Japan. Mrs. Baba loved me and my epic mullet. Apparently, they said that's why he was like over so big in Japan, or why he got pushed so much in Japan, because Mrs. Baba thought he was just a handsome young American man with that bleach blonde hair.
I mean, I can see it. I mean, I did.
Yeah, right.
I mean, anyway. I like Shane Douglas a little more.
Yeah. But he was mostly in America to meet with the WWF on behalf of All Japan. The two sides are still trying to work out a deal to have WWF stars work the upcoming All Japan Pro Wrestling Tokyo Dome show. There's some disagreement because All Japan's side insists that Japanese fans only care about a couple of WWF stars, namely Ken Shamrock and Vader. Because of this, they aren't willing to pay as much as the WWF is asking. However, when Bruce Pritchard and Jerry Briscoe were in Japan a couple of weeks ago, they saw Steve Austin on the cover of all the wrestling magazines. They now seem to have an inflated sense of how popular the WWF is in Japan. The reality is that Austin was only on the cover of those magazines due to the Tyson angle. Also, WWF...
And Tyson lost his big fight against Buster Douglas in Japan, too, so I guess...
Oh, was that in Japan?
You can hold... It was in the Tokyo Dome, I believe. And it kind of holds some merit, I guess, but I don't believe it. But I mean, I guess... See why they would say Tyson's a thing there.
I guess he was a huge star in Japan. And I know you and I always go like, well, if Uncle Dave says it, whatever. But I mean, the one thing I think you and I can agree on is he knows Japan. I don't know why. Knows. Yeah. I don't know why, but he really knows Japan.
Well, you know why? Because Kenny Omega loves it. Therefore, Dave does.
Finger bang. But yeah, he was saying that Tyson's a Japanese huge star fetish. Over there.
Well, he's a huge star everywhere, though. Come on.
Yeah. Also, WWF TV is only broadcast on a small satellite station that only reaches a tiny fraction of Japanese fans. Giant Baba was also upset that he represented All Japan Pro Wrestling in the initial negotiations. Then Vince McMahon sent Pritchard and Briscoe on his behalf instead of meeting with Baba personally. Basically, it comes down to the fact that neither side really understands the culture of the other, and both sides feel pretty insulted by the other. Yeah, this doesn't go anywhere at all.
I don't think it needed to. I think they were both flying alone.
Well, All Japan was floundering. It was about to go downhill. Basically, once Giant Baba dies, the company doesn't really go anywhere. So, other than down. And yeah, WWF definitely didn't need them at all. So this wouldn't have benefited WWF, especially with the direction they were going with the Attitude Era. Hardcore, good matches in wrestling weren't going to be a feature. So, Ric Flair is scheduled to appear, or was scheduled to appear on last week's episode of Thunder. However, due to some apparent miscommunication, he wasn't there. Flair was also supposed to be on Nitro, but WCW had already booked him to make corporate appearances in New York on those days.
Sorry, go ahead, I'll finish.
So it was a situation where the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. Contrary to earlier reports, Flair hasn't actually signed a new deal with WCW. although he
his plans changed.
agreed to it. Yeah, right. However, with Flair being off TV for the last couple of weeks, it's led to rumors that he may be heading to the WWF after all. That's most certainly not happening, though. WWF capitalized on the rumors on their 900 line. They talked about a former NWA champion who may be joining Jim Cornette's NWA stable. They also hinted that it would be Flair.
It did happen. It's not the way they make it out to believe.
Well, apparently they were referring to Dory Funk, who is now under WWF contract as a trainer.
It would end up being Barry Windham.
Yeah, well, he's already there.
Right, but he joins the Jim Cornette stable, though. He becomes just Barry Windham. He drops the blackjack thing. So, like Eric Bischoff says, there's always a kernel of truth in there. It's there, right. And just a tidbit. He was an NWA champion.
Well, this is during the time when, things were just going nuts. This might have been the time. Was this around the time? Maybe you remember better than I do the timelines. Because Bruce Pritchard talked about he wasn't technically under WCW contract, or he was, or something like that. And they had him circling the building at a pay-per-view, and he was considering coming in and being seen on camera. Do you remember that?
Yes, I want to say it was Unforgiven.
Okay, so that would
believe.
Oh, yeah, because that was in North Carolina. Yes.
Yeah, I believe it was Unforgiven.
Yeah, so that makes sense. That is correct.
Was this the infamous thing where he missed the times because he was at Reed's wrestling match?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I guess some people to this day call BS on that. I don't know if it's true. Not touching that. The poor kids, poor kids deceased. I don't know if it was true, but yeah, I remember that. Right. Flair said it himself on his documentary.
Yeah, I think on Eric Bischoff's 83 Weeks podcast, didn't he do a whole episode on the stuff between him and Flair?
He did. I just don't remember the specific part.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember all the specifics, but what you said is true, though. I do remember that part, that he was supposedly he asked for time off, and it was granted, and then at the last minute they're like, nope, can't do it, and he was like, well, tough. I'm already, I'm going.
That is kind of messed up, man.
Yeah.
Never mind. No time off for your kid's wrestling match. I mean,
yeah. Even though you asked off, way in advance, too bad. We need you. Like, no.
Like, not to pull this car, but do you know who that is?
I know. Well, I was about to say, it's not like it's some just,
It's not Hell Dandy. I don't know why that's the first one that came to mind. But
I was going to say Buff Bagwell, but I don't know. Even he could pull a little bit of rank. He's been there a while. I don't know. It's like Ric Flair has been wrestling for that company forever, except for like 1 year. So maybe, or was it 1 year or two? He was gone.
From like around they started talking him up, I think, at SummerSlam 91, and he left right the night after Royal Rumble 1993.
Okay.
So it was about a year and some change.
A year and a half. Okay. Yeah, I'll say about 18 months, I'll say. So, yeah.
Which is funny, by the way. I recently learned, because I've been binge watching the old school Superstars and Raw. They used to put Raw in the can, obviously. Yeah. But like when I say that, though, it's like it was in the can even an episode after the Royal Rumble was in the can. So Flair had wrestled at the Royal Rumble in the Royal Rumble match itself, having already, ruined his whole life by losing the ending on TV. Having that already happened, Lord. By the way.
Yeah.
Of course, there was no internet back then, so probably spoilers didn't come out. But like, if you go back and watch the Raw after Royal Rumble 1983, they never talk about the Rumble except for they splice in the Mean Gene report. Yokozuna won the Royal Rumble last night. And like, it was just weird to me. And then I just went and looked it up. And yeah, it was in fact taped. So a lot of people didn't even know, like people watching the Royal Rumble that were at that Raw knew that Flair was gone, but yet here he is in the Rumble. You know what I mean? It's just kind of ironic.
That's nuts. Yeah, well, it's funny that you bring up that, because the very next story I have here, the Steiners were wearing the WCW tag titles at the Saturday night tapings a couple of weeks ago. That pretty much spoiled the fact that they were going to be winning them on Nitro 2 weeks later.
Oh my God. Wow. That was not planned, folks.
Yeah, no, that's one of them happy accidents. Man, I'm glad they don't do that kind of crap nowadays.
Well, they couldn't.
No.
I mean, they could, but it would be out there.
Right. So. Well, the last time I remember anything really egregious happening was TNA had a house show the same night that, I don't know why the hell they would do this, but they booked a house show the same night it was a Thursday night when Impact was running. And Robert Roode showed up at the house show as the TNA champion.
Yeah, the house show was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I didn't go to it, though. But...
No, good for you. He showed up with the title as the champion and was a heel. But on TV that very night, he was winning a... was that the night Storm won the title? And
no, I think he had won it the next week.
Yeah, so he was winning. Oh, yeah, he won a qualifying match to face Storm for the title.
Yeah. So in real time, Storm was only champion for 48 hours.
Yeah, right. But on TV, he was champion for a week.
Might have been 2.
Well, I can't remember how that worked.
I think he beat Angle. He came out the next week, and then Bobby Roode won the right to face him the week after that, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a week gap.
That was the last time. Yeah, so that was the last time I really remember anything egregious like that happening with tapings.
I've always been against. It's not my call, obviously.
Yeah, right.
I've always been against title changes that taped things. I just think it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's stupid, and it used to. This kind of crap used to happen all the time in old school WWF because looking back at it now, you see like reports of it where a guy would. But the thing is, like, usually whoever the champion was on TV, they would have him come out at house shows still as the champion, even though he lost it on TV that was already taped.
Right.
And there was no internet, so people couldn't get online. It's like, hey, why is he still winning the belt? I saw him lose it, 2 weeks ago. This final story I have starts off kind of funny, then it gets kind of sad, then it gets really sad. So.
Oh, good Lord, man! Let me get ready for this one.
Well, a 400-pound indie wrestler named William Tiny Kinney made news in Summit Hill, Pennsylvania, after getting arrested for going on a naked rampage.
Sorry.
He stripped
just imagining a 400-pound guy on a naked rampage. That's the part that's sticking with me right now is the 400 pounds.
Apparently, he stripped off his clothes, smashed his way into a neighbor's house through a window, and then left before running through the streets. When the cops tried to catch him...
That ain't real.
This is real. When the cops tried to catch him, he ran away, still naked and bleeding. He started screaming about wanting to live forever, and then screaming about wanting to die. So I'm going to assume...
I don't think you can do both, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to assume crystal meth?
If only.
This is when it gets really sad. He was eventually arrested and taken to a mental hospital. Kinney ends up getting arrested again a few months later. This makes national news because it gets covered on Howard Stern. Go figure.
Yeah, that's right up his alley. I get it.
Right.
Naked 400-pound guy. Yeah, okay.
He then ended up committing suicide via hanging.
Okay, you didn't tell me all that before I laughed at this.
Well, that's why I said it starts off funny and then it gets sad. I mean,
I didn't think it was going to be like death sad.
Yeah.
He tracked all that. I'm not laughing at a person who killed himself. But...
Well, no. I mean, you're not laughing at the fact that he's effed up and died, whatever. But
kind of ironic we're talking about this, and then the meat and potatoes of our podcast here is 400-pound men in underwear.
Right.
Anybody listen to this? I'm going to retract all that laughing. Okay, I'm not laughing at the fact that he died, but a 400-pound naked man running around. Come on, that's kind of fun.
Smashing through windows like a Kool-Aid man. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, obviously he was on drugs, or it's like either that or he had severe mental issues. I mean, they did put him in the psych ward, so maybe it was not drugs, it was just mental issues. I don't know.
It's going to sound bad, but at some point I kind of hope it's mental issues because, those are God-given. Yeah. Drugs are your own damn fault. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Or it could be a combo. Either way. That wraps up the news. I know we ended on a low note today, but Well,
I finished on a high note, and then you put me on a low at the way end.
Yeah, it's like, whoa. He's dead?
And maybe lead with that next time.
Well, I would like to think our listeners out there aren't stupid enough to be like, well, he's laughing at a guy who killed himself.
Yeah, I would never, ever. Anything funny about death, especially suicide.
Yeah. If anybody out there is actually thinking that, then they're really dumb. But, and they deserve to, think.
Yeah, I have no desire to go to hell, so don't worry. I'm not laughing at stuff like this.
But anyway, that is the end for the news. We're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're diving into No Way Out of Texas right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event_Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event_Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan.
Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
We shared a room.
Shared a room.
We shared a room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The
Broadcast.
Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah. Well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST. Nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back. It's WWF No Way Out of Texas, in your house, 1998.
Full disclosure, I just watched this back yesterday. When I was watching all of our shows for the month, I skipped over this one.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah,
so it's like really fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I just finished watching this one
I don't know why I felt the need
yesterday,
to say all this. So.
Yeah, I just finished watching this, I think, yesterday as well. I finished up the notes, so yeah, watched it all in one sitting. It was wasn't terrible, I'll say that. I mean, it wasn't great. It was definitely a
I was gonna say you can definitely tell this was a one of those shows. It's like a got to get through it show. I'm not gonna say throwaway show because Bruce Pritchard hates that, but it definitely was a show building to a show.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it took place on February 15th, 1998 at the Compaq Center in Houston, Texas.
Compact. The old computer, right?
Yep.
COMPAQ.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're in Texas. I could be wrong. They could have just bought the rights because they wanted to, but I don't know.
Anymore? We haven't started viewing it, and already we've gotten hella 90s with the pay-per-view. I love that.
Yeah, right. It's still a thing, I guess.
For anybody listening that remembers burning CDs, compact discs, not compact, but compact, their discs were the cheapest, and everybody had those. And anyone listening, tell me I'm wrong on that, because I guarantee you I'm not. Like 25 CDRs for like $8, $9, they were the cheapest.
I'm wrong. I mean, they didn't die, but they were acquired for $25 billion by HP in 2002.
Oh, HP, the computer I'm using to record this right now.
Yeah, right. Same here. Compact brand remained in use by HP for lower end systems until 2013 when it was discontinued. So I guess it is dead. Either way, the attendance for this one was 16,110. The buy rate was 0.52 for 150,000 buys. Honestly, not a lot, but
I did watch this nefariously, not through my own hand, by the way. I had nothing to do with it.
The old scrambler box at the neighbor's house.
Not mine.
Right. Hey, you just watched it. You didn't provide it, right?
I like to watch.
Good.
Now a shirt.
Over at our bonfire store. So go check that out. It's on our link tree. All the links to all of our stuff is linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. You can check out our merchandise stores. The first match was marvelous. Marc Mero with Sable he's with the artist formerly known as Goldust with Luna taking on the Headbangers. Because, you want to kick off a pay-per-view right. These four.
I just look at Goldust, Luna, and the Headbangers. I'm like, how are they all not a stable?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, because he's not doing the. If anybody that knows, Goldust in the recent century, this is not him. This is a completely different character. You'd have to go back and see.
Let's talk about that Baby New Year Goldust. Remember that? Oh man!
Oh, for God's sake, yeah. Well,
and you thought Big Show's dimply ass at WrestleMania 21 was etched in your brain. Go watch that.
Was that when he got thrown into the porta potty?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. This one went about 13
That
and a
feud
half
went
minutes.
nowhere, by the way. Not that I'm losing sleep over it, but
Yeah, where's our Goldust and Stone Cold feud, man?
the blood feud.
Right? Goldust is clearly cosplaying as Marilyn Manson, by the way. Am I the only one that caught that?
Now that you say it, I'm seeing it. I didn't catch it when it happened, but yeah.
You can tell by the paint.
Was this the height of like the weirdness of Marilyn Manson?
Yeah, I want to say this is when he had that. Was it Dope Show? The music video where he had like the female bodysuit on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this was around that time, and like it's pretty bad. And you had like ICP talking about that Marilyn Manson fans are effing weird. Like, yeah, you don't say. Before the match, Mero says that there's only room for one beautiful lady in the ring, so Sable needs to get the hell out. He sends her to the back.
Her and her fake breast, right, Dave?
Yeah, right. I wonder what Dave said about this one. Thrasher gets busted open on the stairs. Sable ends up coming back out as Mero hits Mosh with a TKO. Goldust and Mero hold Luna and Sable back from fighting outside the ring. Mero gets back in, and Thrasher rolls him up in a small package for the win. Uncle Dave gave this a 1.5 stars. I gave it 2.5 stars for average. I thought it was decent, maybe 2. I thought they did okay. What do you say?
I gave it 2.
Average?
Yeah, I laughed a few times. I'm like, if it's gonna be bad, at least it's got me laughing.
Right. I almost forgot about the headbanger T-shirts that said "Real Men Wear Skirts."
Yes.
I have Jack's figures of them, by the way.
I feel like they own that trademark, so I think they still wear stuff like that to this day.
Wow. Well, hey, I guess that's better than their flying nuns gimmick that they had for a few weeks. You remember that?
I do. Remember they came out with those huge Madonna breast cones?
Yes. Yeah, this was weird culture right around this time, man. Howard Stern, Marilyn Manson, Madonna.
I mean, I don't think their bank accounts are crying, so there's that.
Yeah. It's just a really weird time.
Can knock it all day, but man, I mean, they made money, I assume.
Yep. Coal chamber, all that good stuff. But after the match, Marc Mero and Goldust try to hold back Luna and Sable, but the women keep fighting. The agents now hit the ring and get between the two women. Goldust and Luna leave. Mero and Sable shout at each other. Sable eventually shoves Mero onto his ass, and then Mero storms out. Good Lord.
I feel like building up to WrestleMania, they didn't know what they wanted to do with those two. And I'll say because like they were always fighting and stuff, but then if somebody like even remotely put their hand on Sable, Mero beat the crap out of him like in a babyface way. So
yeah, like we're going back and forth here.
Right.
Backstage, Owen Hart is talking with Michael Cole, who asks how Owen will coexist with Stone Cold Steve Austin tonight. Owen tells Austin to stay out of his way, and there won't be any problems. However, there will be a problem for Hunter Hearst Helmsley tonight when he, quote, busts his legs.
Yep. So I find it funny, by the way. I think we've already touched on this. Did we do the DX in your house pay-per-view?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Now in the archives. We totally planned that. Anyways, I like how they pivoted from Michaels Owen Hart after the screw job to Owen Triple H with like no explanation. Because Owen returns at DX and beats the crap out of Michaels. Remember that? Right after he beat Shamrock? And all of a sudden it's just nowhere. Yeah, and exactly. And then it's just Owen and Triple H, and like there's no explanation for it.
Yeah.
Other than you're Michael's friend, so now I don't like you, and apparently more.
Yeah, it was almost like Shawn's like, hey, Triple H, take care of my light work, you know?
Right?
Good Lord. I think that could have been awesome, like Shawn Michaels versus Owen Hart, but especially right after the whole Bret Hart controversy. Like, why was that not a thing?
I don't get it.
And I think Owen...
It's kind of funny because everybody talks about how WCW didn't strike when the iron was hot with debuting Bret. Well, WWE's just as guilty with this, so there you go.
Yeah, I know. And
it's like everybody wanted that whole thing to cool. I'm like, why?
I mean, obviously, Bret became... Bret overall was a bigger star and, had way more main events. Obviously, Owen only main evented against Bret. But, I don't know. He was a better promo, in my opinion, than Bret ever was. And I think him and Shawn could have had matches to rival what Bret and Shawn did.
Easily.
So, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that was such a wasted opportunity. Not that the stuff he did with Triple H was bad. It just, I don't know.
Well, this wasn't Triple H yet, though. That's the thing. Like, he was still becoming what he...
Yeah. All their matches had interference from DX in some way, shape, or form. every single time.
Triple H is still kind of new-ish. I mean, obviously he was wrestling for like years since then, but like you look at him now, or like in like let's say 5-6 years ago, compared to that, it's way different.
Right. Yep.
Even though still jackasses out there that claim that man's not a good wrestler, just whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he had to be carried all the time. Good Lord. But Sonny now comes in the ring in a hot pink jumper.
All the way live.
Oh yeah. To announce for the next match. Yay. The sultry sounds of Sonny's screechy voice.
Okay, literally word for word what I put. I said Sonny as announcer. Yay, that voice.
Right. I don't know why they kept doing this. I was like, well, we need to get her on TV somehow. It's like, yeah, but this?
I don't know. I guess a lot of the heterosexual males and women too, whatever, I'm a judge, were like, I'd rather just look at her and, if we're hearing her, I can tune that out. That's my thought.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think, is this is all she did.
Like, no one's listening to that woman. Don't kid yourself.
Right. But this is Taka Michinoku defending the WWF light heavyweight title against Pantera. It went 10 minutes, 9 seconds.
Pantera, the band. They did RVD's theme song.
Right.
I don't know why I felt the need to throw that in there, but
I actually had to look this up because I'm like, was this like a legit like wrestler as Pantera? Yeah, he was El Pantera down in Mexico. He was a legit luchador.
Really good too.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine in this match. I didn't know who the hell he was, so I don't know. But Brian Christopher ends up storming the ring to watch this one up close and personal. He does commentary, and JR does his usual routine with King about whether or not King and Christopher are actually related.
Some people say this kid caught a bad break at birth, but that's heard as a rumor.
Yeah, right. Good grief. Most of the commentary around this one consisted of, oh, that's your son. That's not my son. Oh, yeah, Jerry Lawler's your dad. Oh, he's not my dad. Like, good grief. But after a decent match, Taka wins with the Michinoku driver. Uncle Dave gave this one 2.25 stars. I gave it 2.5. What say you?
I actually gave it 3. I love this match. Taka Michinoku was so damn good too, man.
I know. Well, I wish they would have got more Japanese talent in there, like more juniors in there.
I'm assuming that was the plan. It just didn't come to fruition.
Well, they kept looking to Mexico. Like, I mean,
yeah, it was kind of like, that's what WCW's doing, so we're going to as well. Which was like,
yeah, I mean,
kind of lazy.
Even Pritchard talked about that, where they teamed up with AAA and everything. I mean, they were just at the Rumble the previous year, but that wouldn't. They should have left the luchadors like, whatever. WCW has most of the good ones. Let's go to, the good ones and the ones that actually want to travel to America. Like, let's go to Japan.
Yeah, we want to do that.
Right. Yeah. Why would I want to drink water that doesn't give me diarrhea?
I didn't say it.
Sorry, I had to throw that in. But
anybody that's going to criticize fact check voices, not me.
Oh yeah, because I'm lying. I want to hear that.
I didn't say that. I just said I didn't say it. Now you're twisting words around.
Well, no, I'm just saying. It's like, yeah, because somebody can come back and it's like, you're lying. Am I though? But after the match, Brian Christopher's trash talking Taka outside the ring. Lawler joins Brian, and Taka dives off the top rope onto them. They get into the ring, and Taka jumps out and runs through the crowd. Oh man, I like how later on in the night, Jerry Lawler is like, I think I still see Taka sitting out in the crowd.
Dude, continuity, dude. Give him credit for that one. We don't get much of that in wrestling.
This was peak Lawler here, by the way. This is like,
oh god, yeah. 1998 was his best year.
Yeah, because the late 90s, the very early 2000s were peak Lawler, and then after, I don't know, when do you think he started really going downhill?
2004, 5.
Yeah, I was about to say 4. Yeah, it starts. It's like he's got the same old one-liners, and he's just, and you can tell he's like got it in his mind. And he's just like, hey Cole, hey Cole, hey Cole, hey, guess what? It's like, what, yeah. Jerry? Anyway, in the America Online room, Kevin Kelly is,
and we're back to the 90s.
Yeah, right. Kevin Kelly is sitting with Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, who is Terry Funk, by the way.
Another Funk reference on this pod, by the way. Didn't we talk about Dory earlier?
Yep.
You piece that together.
Terry's not wearing his pantyhose over his head. What the hell? I mean, he would later, but not
He's
yet.
yeah, he's quick. He's starting to not be Chainsaw Charlie anymore. Its whole thing is about to just be Terry Funk soon.
Apparently, this was his whole call too.
Yeah, I heard Pritchard say that, right? He didn't want to be
Yeah.
Terry Funk.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you've been wrestling for 1,000,000 years. You can put pantyhose over your face. We know who the hell you are.
I think he said he insisted on using a real chainsaw, and they said hell no. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I should say a chainsaw with actual chains. It was a real chainsaw.
Right.
They just took the sharp parts out, but they said hell
Yeah.
no.
Well, yeah. I mean, the last time he used a real weapon was that flaming. Remember when he had the flaming branding iron? Yeah. Yeah, and the freaking thing flew off and into the crowd and burned people, and ECW got sued over it.
Which is weird because I thought those fans would love that crap. They would take it as a badge of honor.
Yeah, right. But either way, they're backstage, and
I mean, I did. Kane's Pyro burned me. That's a real story.
You got burned by Kane's Pyro?
I did. I was sitting in the front row, right near the post.
Wow.
Burned a lot of hair off my freaking arms, man.
That's nuts. Well, now you know why he was bald.
Yeah, right? Well, mostly, yeah.
Yeah, right. Kelly asks who they think DX will pick as their partner tonight in the main event. Both men say that they don't care who their opponents are tonight. It's all about revenge. Funk actually cuts a hell of a promo here, proving that he's one of the best, even as Chainsaw Charlie. But now we go to this. It's the Quebecers, Jacques Rougeau and Pierre Carl Roulet, versus the Godwins of Henry O. and Phineas I. Godwin.
I just love the fact that even as we record this, PCO is still, in fact, wrestling, folks.
He's the only one of these four that's still going. And isn't he part of that Honor No More stable?
He is, yes.
Yeah. But this one went 11 minutes, 15 seconds. The Quebecers have the most generic Southern-sounding rock theme. Is that just me?
I think they had their old Quebecer theme, but it got dubbed out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no wonder it's so damn generic. King says that Columbus discovered America, but Canada was discovered by the Roto-Rooter Man. Why do we bash on Canada in every podcast?
I told you this. I don't understand it.
America's
like, hat, you can't make racist jokes or anything about, black jokes, no Mexican jokes, Asian jokes, but Canada, oh, fine. All day, every day. Make fun of them. And that's not just us, I'm saying. I mean, in general, that's like the thing.
The Godwins win when Henry nails a charging Pierre in the face with a forearm. This match was, in a word, boring. You could have heard a mouse pissing on cotton during this entire match. I'm surprised we couldn't actively hear them spot calling.
I'm pretty no, sorry. They didn't have Sunday Heat yet. Like, why was this on Heat?
Yeah, no. Did they have the free-for-all?
Probably. They definitely had some kind of pre-show.
Yeah, this sucked. I mean, the wrestling itself was fine-ish, but it just, who cares? Uncle Dave gave it -1 1/4 stars. I don't know how you calculate that up. Whatever.
How do you get a -0.5 or quarter star? You have whatever.
I know. Like, okay. So slightly worse than -1 star. Okay.
Well, then Uncle Dave, get in there and tell us how it's done.
Yeah, right. I gave it 1.5 stars. It was boring, but like I said, I gave it half. Like, boring for a star. I gave it the extra half a star because, like, the wrestling itself was okay. They tried. What say you?
You took way too long to get to that 1 star, by the way. I don't know why you try to defend your rating of this. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. Just let it breathe. I don't know. But after the match,
by the way, it was atrocious. I mean,
yeah, it wasn't good. I didn't like either one of these teams. They both sucked.
I was a huge Godwin fan when they were like baby faces.
Did I tell you?
I loved Hillbilly Jim when I was a kid too. So when he was with them, I ate that up. So whatever.
Did I ever tell you I have a Jack's figure of Henry O?
You did. Yeah. I didn't know they made that. To my knowledge, the last one they made of him was the Bone Cruncher.
That might be the one I have.
Okay, so when you say Jack's figures, I automatically go to like the 6-inch like ones.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I'm talking like the 90s.
Yeah, okay.
Like, that's the same kind I have for the Headbangers.
Yeah, well, okay, they are all Jacks, so you're not misspeaking. I just figured
right.
You meant like the 6-inch ones.
No. I don't have a Phineas. I don't know if they ever made one.
They did not. I believe I heard there was a prototype of it, and then they turned into Southern Justice, and it never came out. If I remember correctly.
Huh. Weird.
I should say prototype, by the way, of these current goblins with the no shirt on and the overalls.
Oh, yeah.
Not the red shirt, yellow shirt ones.
I want to say there was 2 Henrys that they made, because there's one that's got, he's wearing a yellow shirt, I think, and then another one where he's wearing a rebel flag shirt.
That one was the heel one, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That was pre-LOD break his neck, or was it? Yeah.
I think I have the rebel flag shirt one, if I remember correctly. But,
things you can't get away with nowadays. Cool.
Right, yeah. Well, after the match, the Quebecers posed for the fans, acting like they won, and the Godwins sneak up behind them and knock them out with their buckets. Real sentence.
I wonder who the Tennessee, or the Texas crowd was rooting on this one, huh?
Yeah, right. I don't know if they care. They're like, you're all from Arkansas. Screw you, hog farmers. We're Southern, but we're not that kind of Southern. Anyway, backstage.
Roll Tide Southern.
Good Lord. Backstage, Doc Hendricks is standing by with the New Age Outlaws. He asks who their partner is going to be tonight, and Road Dogg gets angry. He says he has no idea. They're not even being included. Wow. He says they're not even being included in the decision-making process. The Outlaws storm off, saying that they're going to get to the bottom of this. And speaking of Jeff Jarrett, up next is Jeff Jarrett with Jim Cornette, the Rock and Roll Express, and Barry Windham all in his corner. He's defending the NWA North American Heavyweight title against Brad Shaw. Again, who do you think they were rooting on in this one? This one went about 8.5 minutes. Bradshaw comes to the ring looking like Texas threw up all over him. He's wearing...
so what else is new?
Right. He's wearing leather, a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, chaps, and he's got a giant mustache, and he's swinging a bull rope. There you go. He's, do you think he got some inspiration from Stan Hansen?
Not
maybe
at
just
all.
A little? Yeah, maybe just a little.
No, none. This is all him.
Oh, of course, yeah. The referee...
And his finishing move, too. No.
Oh, yeah, that giant clothesline? No. He's the originator.
Exactly. It was a clothesline. See? Well, Stan Hansen
Not
did a lariat. See?
Yeah, right.
There you go. Your whole comment, collapsed on itself. Sorry.
Stan Hansen calls himself the lariat. The hilariat's what I call him.
Oh, my God.
The horse is sick. Anyway, Jim Cornette, I forgot to mention, the referee ejects the NWA, all but Jim Cornette, from ringside. Jim gets involved quite a bit in this one. In the end, Jarrett uses Cornette's tennis racket on Bradshaw to get disqualified. This one was pretty good with a crappy ending, I thought. Uncle Dave gives it a 0.5 star. I give it 2.5 for average, because I actually like the way these guys work together. But I have a feeling you're going to disagree.
I gave it 1, and I thought this whole thing sucked.
Whole thing sucked?
I remember the NWA stable, and I remember like watching it, thinking, "Oh, this could be a big thing." Oh. Well, no, I mean, I didn't. I know you're not wrong. I didn't give a damn, but I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a thing." It never went anywhere.
Nope. And
that theme song Jeff Jarrett had was interesting.
Right. Well, hey, at least the outfit was better than his Dick Dancer outfit.
Well, yeah, but he would be bringing that back at Unforgiven.
I know. Like, why did you go back to that? Yeah, freaking Chippendale Dancer. I have a Jax figure of him wearing that, by the way.
I will soon own a bendy of him wearing that.
Nice.
2 major bendies are coming out soon. It's going to be him, that idiot Danhausen, and believe it or not, Mr. Roll Tide himself. So
hell yeah, man. I may have to get that Conrad.
Well, you'll have to get the rest because they only come in a pack of 4. So.
Damn. But anyway, getting back to this. After the match, the Rock and Roll Express rush the ring, and Bradshaw takes him out with the tennis racket. Bradshaw body slams Jim Cornette, but now Barry Windham runs in to stop any further damage. The NWA all beat up on Bradshaw for a little bit before the LOD run out to save him. The NWA takes off as the crowd chants for the LOD. Man, they're still getting that Road Warrior pop in Texas, man.
And they're like a week or 2 from breaking up.
Yeah, I know. Sucks. It's okay. He'll be back as LOD 2000 in no time. I specifically remember. Isn't, is there re-debut on Unforgiven or right before Unforgiven?
It's at WrestleMania in the Battle Royal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and they've got Sonny with them because, that was a good fit.
So to this day, I don't get it.
Right. In the locker rooms, Michael Cole is standing by with Triple H and Chyna.
China.
Cole asks who their mystery partner is tonight, since Shawn Michaels can't wrestle. Triple H says that his phone's been ringing off the hook with potential partners calling. That's got to suck in 1998 too, because it's a landline, so you got to be there right. You got to be right there with it.
Yeah, and the very rare cell phone. If your phone's ringing off the hook, you're being charged up the butt, man.
And it's like a brick.
Yeah, right. Don't stop calling me. It's not 7 p.m. yet.
Wow. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's a real thing.
Yep.
Like we could have a podcast one day just on our 90s stuff.
Good Lord, I know, right? Mark's on nostalgia. But he says no one on the planet can match Shawn Michaels, so tonight will be a 4-on-3 handicap match. Michael Cole says that if Triple H doesn't choose a partner, WWF officials will appoint one. Triple H says that's fine, he doesn't care, because DX is winning either way. We now go back to Doc Hendricks, standing by with the Nation of Domination. My God.
The Nation of Dominatrix. What the hell are you thinking about?
Oh my gosh, Freudian slip.
That better be left in.
Yeah. You know what a Freudian slip is? It's where you say one thing, but you mean your mother. Anyway.
That was Cliff on Cheers, right?
Good Lord, yeah. But Doc says he's going to ask. Doc says that he's going to ask the leader of the nation if everything is okay, and The Rock grabs the mic. Farouk looks angry and takes the mic from him, saying, "You're just begging me to whoop your ass, ain't you?"
I love this, man. I feel like it was just like some tough love eventually that just broke apart, but it was great.
Yeah, right. Well, the entire time Farouk is talking to Hendricks, The Rock is just a GIF machine. He's making faces.
That is one of the most famous GIFs ever, by the way. Do you remember that? Like it's
where he's rolling his eyes.
Yeah, that's like a famous one that a million people use. Even if they're not even talking about wrestling, even if they don't know what the hell wrestling is, they use that GIF.
The millions and millions of people on the internet use that GIF every day. See how I jackhammered that in there?
I like that.
Yeah, right.
And if you don't know what it is, you'll know it because it clearly says "No Way Out of Texas" in the background. Rock rolling his eyes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's making faces, he's pantomiming things, he's smiling, he's chewing gum. Like this was great, right? You can see right out.
Whole Shawn Michaels starter kit, yep.
Good Lord, yeah, right. I'm looking at him right here and I'm like, he's like, even if I didn't know any better, I'd be like, that's a star right there. He's
9 months away from being a megastar. So yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, in this moment right here.
Next WrestleMania. Yeah, so. But anyway, the next match is the Nation of Domination. Farouk, The Rock, Kama Mustafa, Mark Henry, and D'Lo Brown taking on Ken Shamrock, Ahmed Johnson, and the DOA, which was Chains, Skull, and 8-Ball. No Crush at this time, I guess.
He had left because of the screw job.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I remember. That pretty much killed them dead, didn't it?
Yeah, you're right, because they were just like so lively before.
Well, you know what I mean. Putting a bullet in a wounded animal.
Putting a bullet in an animal on life support.
Beating that dead horse. I think it's dead. But this was dubbed a war of attrition. Basically, a never-ending war?
Pretty much. It's like the 6th time these 8 guys have fought.
Yeah, right. But this goes for 13 minutes, 44 seconds. It all breaks down in the end with a belly-to-belly suplex by Shamrock, followed by an ankle lock to The Rock. Shamrock gets the submission win. Uncle Dave gives this 2.25 stars. I gave it 2.5. Again, for average. What do you say?
I gave it 2. I don't care what anybody says, man. I was a huge Ahmed Johnson fan. I'll take crap for that, but I don't know. He had that it factor to me. He had a badass theme song, by the way. He just had that it factor, though.
His theme song is still, to this day, one of my favorites of all time. Like, it was so great. I mean, and every time it hit, just the theme song alone made the crowd get on their feet. It was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really thought okay, at the time I didn't realize it, but I thought he was going to be WWE champion one day. Just looking at him. And he would have been the first black WWE champion. So it's like, that would have been historic. But that's not what I was thinking. Like, this is my guy. He's going to win the title one day.
I feel like if they used him properly and if he,
apparently he was always hurt.
Yeah, so, he got hurt a lot, and I guess people said that he was kind of dangerous to work with, so I don't know. Maybe he was just a little kind of careless in the ring.
Yeah, because they have a whole episode on 83 or not 83, something to wrestle with on Ahmed Johnson. I listened to it. They said every single time something big was about to happen, he was hurt again.
Yep, and it wasn't always his fault either.
Right, just like Dolph Ziggler, like that's when people are like, oh, they don't do enough because every time they do something, he gets hurt.
What was the one? It's Mojo too, man.
Yeah, right.
What was the one show we were covering? It was just this past month, I think, where we were talking about Farouk hurt him by his arm got infected from splinters from a 2x4 that smashed over him. So
and also Farouk accidentally hurt his kidneys too in his debut, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So there you go.
But Ahmed's the dangerous one, though.
Right. Nuts. Well, that's Big T you're talking about, okay? Right. After the match, The Rock gets in Farouk's face, screaming at him, blaming him for the loss. That's because Farouk had thrown Shamrock into The Rock, and that led to the finishing sequence. But The Rock shoves Farouk. The Nation tries to hold him back, and Farouk shoves D'Lo Brown down. I like how D'Lo gets up in his face. He's like, what the hell did I do?
You pissed me off.
Yeah, right.
Why was D'Lo always the punk?
I know. I like D'Lo Brown.
I do too. He was always like, the guy that ate the pin and, took the ass beatings for the team.
He was I think they refer to that as the heater. Yeah.
And I think at their time, obviously not now overall, but at times I thought he was probably the best wrestler they had in that whole group.
Oh, at
least at the time. Ron Simmons was getting a little age and Rock wasn't Rock yet. I thought D'Lo was their best wrestler, but
did you ever pick up that elite of him with the chest protector?
I never found it at cost, so no, I did not.
Yeah, I wanted that one. I even liked his theme song that's on the music volume, WWF the Music Volume 4.
That's an epic theme.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But anyway,
he's a pretty decent announcer, by the way, in Impact.
Oh, I haven't watched enough to.
He's not great, but he's not bad. A lot better than Josh Matthews. I don't know what the hell that's saying, but
not much. But everyone tries to calm Farouk down as The Rock gets out of the ring and tells a fan to shut the F up. You can see it plain as day on his lips. Farouk finally demands that The Rock get in the ring. They all stand in a line and raise their fists. I don't know why this is such a taboo thing to admit, but like freaking Bruce Pritchard still to this day will not admit that they were trying to rip off the Black Panthers. I mean, they're putting their fist in the air.
The whole thing was the whole thing was like the Black Panther movement.
Yeah, look at the way Farouk dressed. It was literally like the Black Panthers. Same color scheme, the same leather outfit.
Well, I mean, he could deny it, and maybe that's not what they went for, or at least in their mind, but it's what it was.
Yeah, well, and they all went with not all of them, but Farouk and Kama Mustafa and everything were they were supposed to be.
His name is Kama Mustafa.
Yeah,
how do you not see it?
And Farouk Assad was because originally it was Farouk Assad, and then they just dropped it to Farouk. These were African Muslim names. Obviously Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown worked, but whatever.
I don't understand.
So stupid.
I don't get what's so taboo about it. Okay, what's really taboo? The fact that they didn't do more with them.
Right? Yeah. For a stable named the Nation of Domination, they sure got beat a lot.
This is a really good group of guys too.
But Michael Cole is backstage with Stone Cold Steve Austin, asking him who he thinks DX's mystery partner is. Austin says he doesn't care and says that, quote, if you beat someone's ass in Texas, you've done something. I don't know what that means, but
that means at WrestleMania week I got to get into a bar fight so I can be legit.
Yeah, right. It doesn't count unless it's in Texas, man. Make sure you pull their shirt up over their head like a hockey fight.
No, man, this is Texas, not freaking Canada. What's wrong with you?
JBL did it, and he's from Texas.
Maybe he's the exception. Oh, he's from New York now. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I forgot totally.
John Bradshaw Layfield is from New York. Okay, Bradshaw is from Texas.
That's true. But up next is Vader versus Kane with Paul Bearer in his corner. Went for 11 minutes. Vader actually comes out to a huge pop from the crowd. I was kind of shocked because I thought he was fizzling out at this point.
I can tell you when he came out at Royal Rumble 98, that place went nuts.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, that's another missed boat, man. I realize he wasn't what he once was, but clearly the crowd cared about him.
Well, it's hard to ignore the whole Vince doesn't care about WCW guys argument when you see the stuff.
Yeah. According to Bruce Pritchard, Vader was he was beaten up. He wasn't the old Vader, and he even stopped washing his gear, so he stunk really bad.
I'm pretty sure Jim Cornette confirmed that.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he said he had to throw away a jacket because his gloves were so disgusting that they marked it up when he grabbed him. And he said there was no way of washing it out, so he just chucked the jacket. Jim Ross confirmed it, too, because he said when Vader was sitting at home injured, he called him up, and Vader had him on speakerphone. He didn't know it. He's like, I bet you haven't even he said, I bet you haven't even washed your effing gear yet, have you? And in the background, he heard his wife saying, no, he hasn't.
Holy crap.
She's like, he hasn't taken it out of the bag, and I ain't washing it if he don't take it out of the bag. Like, ew.
It's that really small little lady that we saw in Boy Meets World, right? That's his wife.
Yeah.
She weighs like 100 pounds.
That'd be hilarious.
People go back and watch the episode, by the way.
Yeah, I'll have to go back on Disney Plus and watch it. But Kane no-sells the Vader salt. Later, Vader...
there's no sell. Kane doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, totally. Well, then Vader no-sells being thrown into the steel steps. He pulls out his fire extinguisher from under the ring and shoots it into Kane's eyes, behind the referee's back, of course. Vader then hits a powerbomb on Kane.
Why wouldn't you be nefarious?
Yeah, right? Yeah, he's the babyface. Why would, yeah. It's the Hulk Hogan school of being a babyface.
Yeah, man. Conrad's ruined that for me, man. Now, like, I go back and look at old matches. He's right.
He's not wrong.
Bitch cheated every match. Why was I cheering this guy?
he was an underhanded SOB. Screw him.
I saw eye rakes and back rakes and
choking with the tape.
He threw a damn referee out because when he lost to Andre the Giant. Who throws a ref like that?
I know, especially when you're 3 times his size.
Only 3, huh? Are you lowballing it?
Right. Vader hits a powerbomb on Kane, who no-sells that. As Vader hits Paul Bearer off of the apron, Vader hits a chokeslam on Vader, who pops right the F up. Here for a minute, I thought I was watching Lesnar versus Goldberg, but guess not. Kane then
the original.
Right. Kane then hits a tombstone on Vader for the win. Uncle Dave gave it 1 3/4 of a star. Something shaved off 1/4, man. Couldn't be 2. I, however, did give this 2 stars. What say you?
I did too. It was fun.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. Like I was just like, wow, I thought this crap started in, last couple of years, but nope, we got one of them here. I mean, it was slower paced, but still. After the match, Kane grabbed.
I forgot about this match, and then they're gonna have another one, Unforgiven, or not Unforgiven. When's the mask match?
I think that was on a Raw, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was on a random Raw.
I remember when I was a kid when they had that mask match or mask versus mask match. I chuckled. I'm like, we've all seen Vader without that mask 100 times. He was literally on at the 1 year ago to the day almost at the Final 4 when Austin busted him open. He took the mask off in the match. Like, why is this a thing?
Every single WCW match he ever had, he had it on for like the first minute of the match, and then he'd rip it off himself. It's why even wear it? It was stupid. After the match, Kane
sake of getting a stipulation, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, I did laugh my ass off when Paul Bearer put the mask on and jumped around the ring doing Vader's sign, though. But Kane grabs a giant pipe wrench from a toolbox that Vader pulled out from under the ring. He gets in the ring and blasts Vader in the head with it before leaving. EMTs now rush out to stretcher Vader out of the arena. Vader actually has to go get surgery. In the famous match with Stan Hansen years ago where Vader's eyeball popped out of his head, he had to have a metal plate inserted near his eye. That plate was jarred loose in an angle on TV last week against Kane, I guess, during the tombstone spot, which makes me wonder why the hell they did a tombstone here. But he now has to have surgery again.
How do you get hurt on your eye via tombstone?
It hit his head, or he hit his head, and it just jarred things around. So it messed up the plate. Yeah. He shattered his orbital bone against Hansen. Hansen hit him right dead in the damn orbital bone with his frickin' cowbell because he's the blind potato master. But anyway, we're about to get into the main event here, so we're going to take our second to last break. When we come back on the other end of this, we're going to get into the main event. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan McCarthy, and I'm the host of the No Credentials Required podcast. Start your work week with the Monday Drop-In, where I talk about the sports beat in the Capital District, also known as the Muddy 518, as well as Metro New York sports from an upstate point of view. I also give a life lesson from a weekly sports story, so you might learn something from that. I also have a midweek podcast where I interview different sports personalities and talk about a wide array of topics. Take a listen and subscribe on your preferred podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Also check out our social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, and Facebook.com/BellyUpSportsNCR. We're a part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in association with Godzilla Media. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. And we're back. But Howard Finkel announces that DX's mystery partner is Savio Vega. The crowd went mild.
So I remember watching this live, and for some reason in my head, it's like, it's Kane. It's got to be Kane. It's got to be Kane. For some reason, I just remember, that's, it makes sense. That's who it's going to be, right? And
yeah, I don't know.
I remember watching this just being so damn deflated. I'm like, really? Savio?
Yeah, it's like, nobody else. I mean, they were hitting women at this time. Just throw China in there.
That was another one of my guesses, too. I mean, that would have made some sense.
Yeah, anybody. And obviously, Sean Waltman isn't here yet, so no X-Pac. But, really? Hell, throw Barry Windham in there? I don't know. It's just, it was stupid. They acted like they had no other alternative than to throw in the leader of Los Boricuas.
I like that. You rolled the R. Good job.
Right. Speaking of Los Boricuas, a year ago, when we covered that Raw from '97, Savio was in the Nation of Domination. Now he's in a totally different stable that nobody gives a crap about. How about that?
I like when things come full circle.
Yeah, right. But this is Triple H, Savio Vega, and the New Age Outlaws of Road Dogg and Billy Gunn with China. They're taking on Owen Hart. They're taking on the weird-ass team of Owen Hart, Cactus Jack, Chainsaw Charlie, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. It is a non-sanctioned 8-man tag team match.
I know you said it was a weird team, but they all had their problems with the opposing side.
Right.
Obviously, Savio being the exception. So, I mean, it made sense.
It did, but at the same time, it's just like, man, this is thrown together gobbledygook. This went about 17 and a half minutes. Wow.
You said
it. The crowd actually blows for Owen Hart. That kind of shocked me. I was like, okay. Not that he didn't deserve it. It's just I didn't expect it. Obviously, Austin gets the pop of the night. Crowd hit the damn roof for him.
Babies hit the roof.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they would throw the babies in the air. After a big bloody battle, Austin gets a hot tag, hits the Road Dogg with a stunner, and wins. Uncle Dave gave this 3.5 stars. I gave it an even 3. It was okay. What say you?
I gave it 3. I thought it was really good. Can we acknowledge, by the way, this freaking team? Man, you get more talent than this on this team, dude? It's like a all-star Hall of Fame team. And then you had Austin's team.
Good Lord. Yeah, I mean, we got 3, because people that don't know, the New Age Outlaws, they weren't around that long at this point. Were they? When did they actually get together?
I think they were October or so.
Yeah.
Maybe even November?
Yeah, so they were the tag team champions here. They just got together not too long ago. Billy Gunn's still wearing tights at this point to match.
Yeah, because he just come off of Rockabilly. That's a real thing, by the way.
Yep. But he was calling himself Badass Billy Gunn at this point because it was on his headband. I have 2 Jax figures of him, by the way. I have 1 of Road Dogg. But Triple H, so DX was only Triple H, China, and Shawn Michaels at this point still. Savio Vega, obviously, was who I have a Jax figure of. Forgot to mention that.
Of course you do. They've never even made a Mattel of him, by the way.
Wait, they did make Mattel of him?
No, they never did.
Oh, okay. Well, I wonder why. But, he needs to come in a 2-pack with Jose Estrada Jr.
He's like, come out 4-pack. All of them. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, all of
Miguel Perez and whoever the hell the other one is.
Yeah. I'm glad you remembered Miguel Perez because I couldn't even. Oh, Jesus Castillo. That's it.
Oh yeah, Jesus. You got that stab Cena, right? Or different Jesus.
That's a different Jesus. Damn it. But either way, yeah. I mean, all of them were talented, and obviously the other side was freaking great. The only reason Owen Hart's not in the Hall of Fame at this point is because of his family, but he's being honored in I think NWA as well as AEW, so that's cool. Cactus Jack. Mick Foley's not in the Hall of Fame yet, is he? Or
he is, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It was there. It was in the Garden. 2013.
Right. Okay. I think
same year as his hero Bruno. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Funk's in with his brother, I believe. I think him and Dory went in together.
Nice. Oh, that's right. I think the Funk family as a whole went in, like all three of them, if I remember correctly.
That sounds
Austin's Austin's a Hall of Famer. So, I mean, it's great talent.
I think the Outlaws will be one day. And
Triple H, yeah, no doubt.
Probably. So, China is... Right. Oh, Triple H is. Never mind. I forgot DX is in. Wait, yeah, they're all Hall of Famers. Matter of fact, the whole team except for Sapa is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, right. That's right, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Good grief. Well, after the match, Stone Cold hits a stunner on Billy Gunn and then punches Triple H off the apron. China gets in the ring and squares up with him, getting in his face and shoving him. Austin tries to leave, but China flips him the double bird. Apparently, that's where she went too far. He's had enough now. Austin gets in the ring, hits her with a Stone Cold stunner, and to close the show, Austin must pose, pal.
No, Austin must drink.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, he's the exception. He doesn't pose, he drinks.
So, you know what's funny, though? We were just talking about Hogan being a face but doing heel stuff.
Yeah.
I look back at this era, I'm like, how the hell was Stone Cold a face? He was hitting women. He was giving double bird to his boss. You know, all the guy was trying to do was run his own company. That's all he was doing. And drinking on the job and swearing and stuff. And that's a face?
Yeah, stealing vehicles, destroying property.
Destroying vehicles with vehicles.
Yep. I know. Well,
it's just funny when you think about it. You're like, oh, logic. Okay.
I know. Yeah, the 90s were wild, man. Well, Uncle Dave said that this show mostly amounted to being a good house show.
I would say a amazing episode of Raw for 1998.
Yeah. Yeah, just an extended episode of Raw, yeah. So it's... this wasn't great, but it was okay.
Like I said, I mean, the term throwaway show, whatever, because I get Pritchard's logic on that. You don't call a pay-per-view a throwaway because you're literally paying for it. That makes no sense. But I look at it as clearly a show to get to a show.
Yeah, it's nothing special. Yeah, they're not giving away anything huge on this one. But
there's no Undertaker, and he would be one of the main things at the next show. So,
Well, he's double dead on the show, supposedly.
Right.
So. But we're going to take our last break of the podcast. When we come back, we're going to tell you what's to come in the month ahead on the podcast, and we will give you our final ratings right after this. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
This message is brought to you by Belly Up Sports. No, just kidding. This is not an NWO promo. This is just me, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom, the host of Here in Puckburg on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. I have a hockey podcast where we talk about hockey fandom and the love of the game and where that leads you in this game we call life. Why am I on Main Event Marks telling you about this? Well, what if I told you I had one half of the world's greatest tag team, otherwise known as the Main Event Marks, the one and only Greg, Superfly Greg. He was on, and he was talking about his love of the game. So you might want to come over and check that episode out. And if you like what you hear, you can check out the rest of our incredible episodes with our incredible hockey community, from PHF athletes, ESPN personalities, fathers of NHL players, and a whole lot more. Come by, follow the show, give a like, give a subscribe, and it'd be great to have you here in Puckburg. But enough about me. Let's get back to what you're really here for, the Main Event Marks, because they are the cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. And we're back. All right, final ratings time. Internet Movie Database gives us 6.3 out of 10. CageMatch.net gives it 4.31 out of 10. I give it 6.5 out of 10 for a D, maybe a C minus. What say you?
So I wrote in my notes C plus, but then I look back at it and you have to factor in this was a show to get to a show. When you look at it like that, it was never meant to be an amazing show. I think I had to bump it up to a B minus, just because it set up some stuff and some memorable moments. It's like the history of 1998. You can't write it without this. That's how I look at it. This, when Shawn Michaels missing it, that tells you, oh, this is the end of until SummerSlam 02.
Right.
It's this is a pretty marquee event.
Michaels being out of this, I feel, really hurt some things on this show.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah.
No doubt, but and then the replacement probably just what do they say? Flattered plate full of piss. But
yeah,
and that sucks. Savio's not bad. Let's keep that in mind. I want to make that clear. He's not bad. He's just
not at all.
Not a marquee guy.
Right.
I never thought of China being the fourth person when you said that. Yeah, they could have. I was like, oh, it could be Kane because he's a bad guy too. But then I'm like, maybe they didn't want Austin and Kane to touch until King of the Ring, so I get it. There's a lot of stuff there was a lot of reasons certain guys didn't do it.
Well, when he comes to the ring, all I could think of was. I couldn't help myself. Hey, yeah, that's all I could think of, man. But anyway, so that does it for No Way Out of Texas 1998. It was for lack of a better term, it was a sandwich show, a sandwich between two really good events, and it was just kind of there.
That's exactly why I give it a little extra credit. It's not its fault.
Right. Well, I hope everybody tuned in for the bonus show last week where we covered WWF Raw's War from February 3rd, 1997. It was the first ever 2-hour Raw. And within a 2-week span, we covered CyberSlam, ECW CyberSlam from 1996.
Which you all love, by the way, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks for everybody that tuned in to listen to it. ECW lovers and haters alike. And then we jumped from 96 to 97 with that show I just mentioned. And then today we covered No Way Out of Texas 98. So 3 years, man. And we're going to be covering a lot of ground in the coming month because it's the big leading into WrestleMania month. And we've got a lot for you. March 2nd is going to be our first WrestleMania of the month. We've got 3 we're going to cover. It is WWF.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I'm excited to watch them all back. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I know. And this first one, I think I've seen it in total. I don't remember. I'll have to refresh my memory. But we are going to be watching on February 2nd. It's WWF WrestleMania 3. The main event, obviously, was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
Oh, my God.
What? But that one's coming up. Very excited to watch that one just because it was a huge historic show. I don't think the show itself was good or great, whatever, but it was okay. But then on March 9th, this one, I don't know how it's going to be, but I'm going to assume not great. We're covering WCW Uncensored 1999.
Oh, I can tell you right now it's not great.
You remember this event?
Yes, I do.
I don't know anything about it.
Good. So, don't look it up or anything. I want you to just go into it not knowing anything.
Oh, come on. I got to look it up.
No, you don't. Because it might scare you off.
I don't know. I sat through 95 and 96, so this can't possibly be that bad. Well, I don't know. I don't want to tempt fate.
No.
So
hold your breath.
That one, well, this one, the main event is going to be Ric Flair and Hollywood Hogan. Barbed wire, steel cage, first blood match for the WCW title. Lord.
I told you not to look it up, but you know what? Hey, whatever.
That's a mouthful.
I'll listen to your co-host, whatever.
But that's March 9th.
I'm looking forward to watching this back now. I'm having a good time laughing at it.
Yeah,
I like torturing myself.
That's March 9th. March 16th, we're bringing you one of my personal favorite WrestleManias. It's WWE WrestleMania X8 for the 20-year anniversary. The main event was Triple H versus Chris Jericho for the WWF title, or WWE title, rather. But that's not what everybody talked about from the show. What everybody talked about from the show was Hollywood Hogan versus The Rock. And we also get Steve Austin versus Scott Hall.
Which is an underrated match. People I don't know why a lot of people crap on that. It's not bad.
Right.
Not saying it's a classic by any means, but it's not bad.
Right, yeah, I don't remember it being bad. And isn't this the one with Undertaker versus Ric Flair?
Yep.
Yeah, so...
RVD and William Regal's the opener. I feel like that was a great match, too. I can't remember if it was great or not. I feel like it was.
Yeah, this was a damn good show. I'm definitely excited to watch it back. And not that Triple H and Jericho sucked. It's just it was a dump after Hogan and Rock. So,
my buddy was at that event and told me that literally a third of the crowd left after the Hogan Rock match.
Sad. But this is another WrestleMania that took place in Canada. I think only one of two, isn't it?
Yep.
This one in 7 or 6, yeah.
No, 7 was as American as it gets, man.
I forgot about that one. But yeah, so there you go. And then let's see, March 23rd, we're continuing on with our tour of TNA in the year 2007 as we cover Destination X.
And I'm going to say this now, so you'll be obligated to do it. We're doing a watch along to that Last Rites match.
Yes, we're gonna watch along to the Last Rites match, and also on this card, that's Sting and Abyss, by the way. And if nobody knows what it is,
trust me, they know. It's infamous.
Yeah, listen along.
It's like saying what's that thing called, the horrors match that Dusty Rhodes came up with? What's it called?
Horrors, or no?
No, not that. Yeah, it's like when you say Chamber of Horrors, even the most casual fan knows. Okay, so when you say Last Rites match, people know.
Yep. And then it's also got Elevation X on this card too. So, yay! That's double.
Now this one is probably the best of them all, and I know that's not saying anything, but it is.
No, it's not. Yeah. But that's double main event week. The bonus show that week, we're actually going back to cover NWA's Clash of the Champions 1. That is where Ric Flair took on Sting in the main event.
One of my all-time favorite matches.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back and watch that. It's a classic show, classic match, and it's where Clash of the Champions got its start.
And I tend to forget, there was an undercard to this. I feel like it's always forgotten.
Didn't that match go 45 minutes?
45-minute draw, yes, but
yeah,
man, it's amazing though.
Right. So and there's a bit of an undercard there, and we'll get to it.
I think this match, looking back at it, was the catalyst to Hangman and Bryan.
Oh yeah,
or I should say Danielson.
Yep. Daniel Bryanson.
It's all freaking like a word twister with his damn name, man, because it's all the same name, just like reverse. But yeah, this is like the catalyst of it. I think it's like.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I have no doubt. But we're closing out the month, March 30th. It's WWE WrestleMania 24. That one is Michaels and Flair, right?
This is so forgotten, but yeah. Undertaker and Edge, Floyd Mayweather and Big Show, which is a lot better than you might think it was if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it was a fun event. I watched it with friends. We had a full house watching this thing. We all got into it. It was good stuff. So looking forward to that. But that is this next month of March. And lots of stuff going on. And as always, go check out our YouTube. New content posted almost every single day there. Whether you're into fig hunting, you want clips from the show, extras from the show, or if you want video game, TV, or movie talk, we're on there.
Trying to get I'm pushing for it. No pressure. I'm trying to get a few watch-alongs on there.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to work on that, getting more wrestling content up there for sure. Well, thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Of course.
And we will see you all next week when we hit March with WrestleMania 3.